Welcome to Afri Facts. In this video, we will look at how foreign invasion crushed Africa's culture and civilizations. Once upon a time, Africa was a garden of greatness. A continent where knowledge thrived, where kings and queens reigned not just in gold, but in wisdom, science, and soul. A land of poets, philosophers, astronomers, and architects. But today, all that remains of this splendor are scattered ruins, stolen artifacts in European museums, and a people still healing from wounds that never got the chance to close. This is the story of how Africa's mighty civilizations, her languages, her customs, her knowledge systems, were not just forgotten, but forcefully erased. Torn apart by invaders who came not in peace, but in greed, and left behind broken mirrors of an identity that once stood tall, proud, and whole. Before the shadows came, Africa was full of life. Long before the sails of conquest touched African shores, civilizations flourished across this vast land. Not one or two, but dozens. In the West, the Mali Empire rose with cities like Timbuktu, home to libraries holding thousands of manuscripts. Africa had universities before Europe even had one. To the east, Axum stood as one of the great powers of the ancient world. Ethiopia had kings in the time of Christ, coins in the time of Caesar. To the south, the kingdom of Mapungubwe and later Great Zimbabwe boasted stone palaces and massive trading empires. In Central Africa, Congo kingdoms thrived with governance, art, and diplomacy. The Moors, Africans, ruled parts of Europe for 800 years, bringing education, agriculture, and science to a then dark Europe. These were not people living in huts waiting to be civilized, they were civilizations that could have civilized the world. The ship came before the Bible. At first, they came with smiles, and then, with chains. They came with crosses, and then, with guns. They came with civilization, and then left ashes. The Portuguese, the Dutch, the French, the British, wave after wave of invasion, claiming land that was not theirs, carving borders with no regard to tribes, tongues, or traditions. The Kingdom of Benin, with its advanced art and metalwork, was razed by British troops in 1897. They looted thousands of bronzes, now sitting behind glass in the British Museum. The Ashanti Empire, resilient, fierce, and proud, was broken after years of war with the British. The Golden Stool, sacred to the Ashanti people, was defiled. The Zulu Kingdom, under the great Shaka Zulu, pushed back with military genius, but was finally crushed by the British Empire's superior firepower. The Hera people of Namibia were almost wiped out in the first genocide of the 20th century by German troops. And through it all, Europe redrew Africa at the Berlin Conference of 1884, like a butcher slicing a carcass, with no single African at the table. Now let's look at the systematic destruction of our identity. Colonialism was not just about land. It was about the destruction of the African soul. Languages were banned. Children beaten for speaking their native tongues. We were told our tongues were primitive. Religions were demonized. Vodun, Ifa, Dinka spirituality, all labeled witchcraft, while forced into Christianity with colonial narratives of sin and salvation. Names were erased. Kwame became James. Neka became Sarah. Our identities replaced with foreign baptisms. Education was designed to produce obedient clerks, not thinkers or leaders. Our history was rewritten by those who had no right to tell it. We were made to forget who we were, and then punished for not knowing. When the colonialists left, they did not leave in peace. They left behind weak systems, forced governments, broken economies. They set the fire, then blamed us for the smoke. Even now, the Benin bronzes are still held in Western museums. The remains of African leaders and spiritual icons lie buried in European soil. African languages are dying. Our traditional knowledge on herbs, health, weather, and architecture is dismissed, forgotten, or stolen and repackaged under Western names. Africa is not poor, it has been robbed. Africa is not backwards, it has been held back. Africa is not broken, it has been broken into. The path to restoration. Africa is rising. Our hearts are set aflame yearning for Africa we will be proud of, and nothing can stop us. Today, there's a fire in the hearts of the youth. A hunger to know who we really were, who we really are. Young Africans are learning local languages with pride. Scholars are fighting to rewrite history books. Countries are demanding the return of stolen artifacts. Digital warriors, like you, are reshaping the narrative. We are no longer asking for permission. We are reclaiming what is ours, by right, by blood, by birth and by history. To my brothers and sisters across Africa and the diaspora, never let them tell you that you came from nothing. You come from empires. From sacred drums that echoed through forests long before cathedrals. From ancestors who looked at the stars and charted seasons. From architects who built with stone, not steel. From a greatness they tried to bury but could never kill. Now, the question is, will you stay asleep, or will you rise to finish what they tried to erase? Share this story. Teach your children. Speak your mother tongue. Learn your history. Demand justice. Rebuild what was broken. Because the world doesn't fear a powerless Africa. It fears an Africa that remembers.